Okay, so today we're going to do a video on something I got pretty recently. It was during our last sale. I've just been kind of messing with it. It's the Olight Oclip. So let me give you a little close-up here to start with. So that's the front. And then that's the only real button that they have. This is USB-C, and then on the back here is this little clip that extends, about finger wide. So the kind of reason that I was interested in this is because I've been carrying this for quite a while. So this is the Perrin. And it's their, it's not the newer one, the Perrin 2, that has a bigger battery. This is 18650, which I think I prefer for this style of light. I know the other one is 21700, so it's a little thicker, like this one, right? But I think just for the kind of light that is this, I think the 18650 is actually the better option in my mind. It's just slimmer. I do like the kind of palm-sized. I know they have a Perrin Mini, which is like half of this. I don't know. I used to carry those little CR123 style lights when that was kind of the thing, but I much prefer the 18650 style and size of light. So I've been carrying this for a while, and what's great is you can clip this facing forward, right? So when I would go running at night, I would just clip this to my belt in front, and then I have like a little, headlight, I guess, pointing forward that was hands-free. I don't like headlamps because they tend to droop, and you're constantly messing with them, especially if you're running. If you're out going for a jog, I mean, sometimes it's a pain. You either have to have a small headlamp, or if you want a more powerful one, it's just always, it's either drooping or you have to tighten it to where it gives you headaches when you run. And I just don't like it. So this just gives me a little bit of a headlight, hands-free. I just clip it to the front of my, I always have a belt because even when I run, I have some sort of gun on me. So I always have a way to clip this, or you can just clip it onto your pants. But that was kind of what I've been carrying for quite a while. And so when I saw this, I thought, well, maybe this could do, and not to replace this, right? I'm always going to carry this, but I thought, well, taking that idea of like the clip-on forward-facing light, but just miniaturizing it, what could I do with this? So I've been playing with it a little bit, and I like it except for one thing, which is kind of a big deal, I guess. It's not a deal breaker, but to me it's a big deal. So let's go through some of these operations. So if you just click once, you get the light. If you hold it, cycles, right? So it goes from it's kind of similar to a lot of the other lights. So if it's off and you hold it, it goes to moonlight, all right? And then you hold it and it cycles, right? Fairly bright for something this small. I mean, Olight does a good job. I have, of course, this one on my keys, and even this one is, for the size, definitely a pretty impressive output. But so for here, I think, let's see. I know double click takes you to red. Now if you turn it off and double click, it takes you right to red. So double click will take you to red, whether it's on or off. And then if you hold it on red, now you get the blinky red. And if you triple click, you get this strobe. And then let's see if I can get this right. I got it before the video. Triple click with it on is beacon. Yeah. So if you triple click with it on, it's beacon. And I believe if you triple click with it off, it goes to strobe. That seems to be what happens for me anyways. Maybe it's just happenstance, but without the manual in front of me, I couldn't tell you exactly, but that's just how I get to things. And it seems to work. So the beacon seems to be only on some sort of high mode. I haven't found a way to do like a fire, what they call the the low end, the Firefly or whatever light. So here's the issue, is when I turn this on, I don't know if you can tell. Let's see. Can you see a hot spot? I mean, this thing has a very distinct hot spot. And for something this small, it really is a floodlight. I mean, this one is definitely a floodlight. Right? This is not a spot beam, right? That's why I have this. That's why I carry two lights, because I like a long distance beam and a area light. And this one is great as an area light. It's not a spot. There's no real spot. It's just a big broad beam, right? And this one has a nice hot spot to see things further away. So I like that. That's why I have those, because that's what I want from them. This one is such a small light. It's a task light. It really doesn't have much reason to be a spotlight. To me, it really detracts away from what you would want something like this to do. I'm not using it to search in faraway places, like down an alley or something. I just want the area in front of me, because I'm going to clip this to like a hat, or maybe like my pants. So instead of taking this running, right, I can just take this, and all it does is it just tells cars that I'm there, right? Even though I'm on the sidewalk, it just lets everybody know that I'm there. So it doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to reach out as far as the beam goes. But I mean, that is such a hot spot. That was bright, I'll give them that, but it's just way too spotty for what it is, I think. Now, if you got it on the sale price, I'm willing to live with it. If I had to pay full price for it, I don't know if I would get it. I mean, I'm leaning towards yes, because it is a cool little light. But when you have this like clipped to your hat and you're looking at something a foot in front of you, down in your hands or whatever, I mean, that spot is just too much. You really want like a broad beam to illuminate, the area directly in front of you, like what's in your hands. If you have papers, it's harder to read if you have this spot right on that paper versus a nice broad beam like that. Right? I mean, if I come up a couple feet, you can see it just kind of really dilutes and just blends into the canvas, versus this one. You can see, I mean, look at that spot. Look, here's the Perrin. Look how diffuse that is. And then here's this little Oclip. Right? Not, I don't know. I think that's a hard sell for Olight to market it as a spot beam. I'm not sure what they were thinking with that. Usually their products are pretty well thought out, but I would really like to see this come out in a broad kind of a flood beam. And then I'll say it's definitely worth it, because the form factor is just fantastic. I mean, it's such a useful little light that you could have on you, clip it to things. It does have the magnetic ability, which is actually not incredibly strong, but yeah, it's there. It's there. I mean, it's enough to hold the light up. So, super useful, I would say, except for that one kind of big flaw of the really odd choice of beam. I'd say this is a pretty good light, but if Olight sees this, I really hope they come out with a broad beam, because that's what this should be made from the beginning. It's an area light. It's a task light. It is not a spot beam to see something 20 feet away. So yeah, if you get a sale on it, I'd say pick it up. It's still useful, but if you got to pay full price, maybe wait for the sale, or wait for them to come out with another version that has a different beam pattern. So there you go, the Olight Oclip.